What's up, guys? How you guys doing? It's currently 7:38 here. We're a little bit behind, but you know what? Nonetheless, we are here for episode 2 of the Central.
Great.
No, I'm sorry, episode 3. My apologies for the Superior Notary Crew, and I can't talk today. But what we're going to talk about is some of the common mistakes that notaries have. No matter the tenure they've been a notary, these seems to be the common mistakes that a lot of us end up having to fix in the long run. We're going to discuss all of that and some other things. You guys know if you ask any questions, feel free to do so. If you are doing StreamYard, don't forget to give the permissions to make sure that we can see who you are. And if you don't do that, just put your name when you go in and ask your question, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hand it on over to Ayana, who's going to tell us and start us off with what we got going on today.
Why am I starting us off today? Hello, Stephanie. Welcome to the session and welcome to everyone else that's watching. So as Reggie said, we're going to talk about common general notary mistakes, and I did not upload the pictures. I just remember I did not. But I can do that while we're talking, because actually I think Bergeau had some already in her mind ready to go. So while I'm uploading pictures, this picture is blurry, Reggie, but while I'm uploading the pictures, I don't know, maybe we just won't have the pictures. Let's just jump right into it. So let me see. The first common notary mistake that I would say a lot of notaries make is not having an ink pen. So one of my very first or very early notarizations, I showed up to a couple's house and I noticed they had some loan documents on the table and I didn't have a full package. And so I sit down, I pull out all of my supplies, my stamps, my pens, put the pens out, and she goes, "Oh, you're just prepared like a Girl Scout." And I said, "Well, I was a Girl Scout, thank you very much." And she said, "The last guy didn't even bring pens. He had us looking around for blue pens, and I don't even think I have any blue pens." So, common mistake that notaries make is just going out to a signing without having a pen. Preferably, you should have a blue pen. Now, some signing companies will tell you what color pen you should use. If they don't say a color pen, I always default to blue because blue can distinguish an original from a copy. So that is why I use blue. Marriage license, you have to use black. Some signing services will tell you to use black. If they don't tell you what color, don't get on Facebook talking about what color should I use. You should be using don't use red, don't use purple, don't use orange, yellow, green, or brown. Use a blue pen. All right? That's my first one. Go, Bergeau.
All right. Common mistake notaries make. Number 2. Coming online, asking people if they ever notarized this type of document. The document itself will tell you what is required. You don't add whatever certificate you want to. You don't need to ask anyone if they've ever notarized the document before or how does the document look. You need to see the document yourself. The document will tell you exactly what to do. If you are reading the notary certificate will tell you all that you need. If there's not a notary certificate present, then we all know what to do with that, right? We have to add one.
3. That's number 3.
We have to add. Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, stop asking people if they ever notarized this document or if they ever worked with these type of loan documents. You see the documents, and that will tell you what to do. Nobody has to tell you what to do.
Facts. It was something I was going to say. I was going to piggyback on that when you said something.
Oh, the instructions. When they send you instructions with documents, read the instructions.
Yes.
Even for general notary, I've had customers come to me where they have documents needing to be notarized that was drawn up by an attorney. Even the attorneys include instructions, guys. Always read instructions. And you don't need to do any research on documents. You ask the customer to send you the document.
Yeah.
Everybody has a smartphone for the most part, or if they've gotten the document emailed to them, just have them forward it to you.
Yeah. I was
That's
going to say, it's a common misconception that we are not supposed to read the document. Now, while we do not have to know what the document is for, like we don't need to know the specifics of the document. However, we should be reading or skimming the document, the body, at least for common notary mistakes number 4, for blank spaces or places that need to be filled in. And when you get to the part where you need to notarize or where the notary is, you want to read that section. Like you want to make sure that this is something that you can notarize, first of all. And then you want to make sure it has the 9 requirements that the state of Florida, yeah, that's 9 requirements that the state of Florida requires for a notarial certificate to be legit. Okay. So you do want to,
everybody, if you're not in Florida, your handbook is your best friend. You should know what the elements are for you to make the certificate state compliant wherever you are. Okay. If the pre-printed certificate on these documents is not state compliant for you, you can either make it or use your own certificate.
Or add in the missing elements.
That's why I said you can either make it compliant.
I got you.
Or add a whole new certificate.
Oh, I thought you meant like make. Okay, got you. Yep. All right, Reggie, talk about I don't have a notary certificate, so which one do I use?
So shout out to everybody in Central Florida Notary. Really quick, Jade and Iris, I see you guys. Shout out to you guys. We can't see your names, but I know who you are because I see you in the chat. But the question that Ayana asked is, how do you know what document to use, right?
Which notarial certificate.
Which notarial certificate you should use. Virgil got me caught off guard yesterday when I asked her this question.
No, you did not ask it yesterday.
Or yes, I don't remember. But more specifically, you find that out from your customer. We cannot take the time to explain what the document is. We can't choose for the customer, whether it's an acknowledgement or jurat or whatever the case may be. I was setting up with Virgil. I had a run that I was doing yesterday, and I was asking her what type of notarial document I should use. And, me not thinking, she said, well, what did the customer say? And I was like, you know what, you're right. She said a jurat. So that's where you get that from, right? You want to make sure that you explain to them the difference between what an acknowledgement is, which acknowledging them signing, and then a jurat is where you do a oath or affirmation to the client and you watch them sign. So you have to make sure you explain the difference of the notarial documents that you're using so they can then choose. And if they're not sure, you then have them go back to the requesting agency that is requiring the notarial document to be signed.
Oh, okay. So proud of you.
Thanks.
Me too.
So one thing I wanted to add is that a jurat also, with the oath and affirmation, places the signer under oath. Okay, so that oath or affirmation is placing them under oath, and they are testifying that the information is true and correct based on their knowledge and belief, and that they understand that they are under the penalty of perjury if they lie.
Correct.
So I typically ask everyone that I place under oath to raise their right hand. And the reason why I do ask for them to raise their right hand is so that they remember. Because a lot of people usually laugh or giggle when I say raise your right hand. They're like, dang, this is official. So they will remember. So if we get in court somewhere and they ask, did she place you under oath? They're going to remember that I had them raise their right hand and that they had to do it. So I do it as a trigger for them to remember. So let's answer this question. Let's see. When we need a copy of the client's ID, should we let them know to have a copy or we have to? I'm going to let Bergeau answer that because I'm going to keep my opinion to myself. Go ahead, Bergeau.
You can ask them to have a copy ready for you, or many signing services are going through the platform where you can upload the document to the platform. It does not save it to your phone. You go on there, you click attach. It'll ask you if you want to take a picture or attach from your gallery. I prefer to take a picture. That way it's not saved to my gallery or my phone. So you can do either or. But if the instructions ask for you to provide a copy of the ID, you should try to get it the best way that you and the customer can.
That was a very good question.
And you cannot take a picture of military IDs.
Yes.
Just so you know, you cannot take a picture of a military ID. You can take a picture of the veteran ID card that they receive if they're veterans as a form of identification, but you cannot take a picture of the military ID.
Yep, it is illegal.
You also should not be taking pictures of passports.
Facts. All right.
What was that again? What was, I didn't hear that part.
Passports or social security numbers.
Yeah, I would never take a picture of somebody's social security card ever. Yeah, no. Ever.
So now I wanted to mention about another common notary mistake.
Okay, go ahead.
When you are going through the documents and you see the signer's signature line has in parentheses beside it seal, that does not mean that you put your notary stamp there. Yes. Remember, the rule of thumb is that your notary signature and stamp only goes with a notarial statement. All right. So if there's no notary certificate pre-printed on the document, you're not signing or sealing anything. So we should not just be signing and sealing documents all willy-nilly. Make sure that we're following proper protocol when it comes to us having to use our signature and seal.
Yes. Another common mistake is where you actually place your stamp. So your stamp should be placed close to where your name is. Now, there is a caveat. There are some documents where this may or may not be possible. If it's not possible, then you can attach a loose certificate if the receiving party will allow that. One of the common documents where it's weird and tricky to place your stamp is that passport for children, getting the adult sign off for passport for children.
And the VINs verification form.
Yeah. So on that particular form, I don't attach a loose certificate. I notarize that form as is, and I just either I try to use my mini stamp or I place the stamp in the space where it has it. It is not near my name. But as a rule of thumb, my stamp typically goes either directly next to my name or directly underneath my name.
Pro tip. That is a pro tip. You guys need to make sure you get a smaller stamp. In Florida, I don't know how other states use it.
Some states do not. Montana is one state where they cannot use a mini stamp. So if you're
from the state of Florida.
I'm not. I'm all states.
No.
So
this
for me,
is for the state of Florida because most people are in the state of Florida. So,
yes. But people who watch my videos are not all in Florida.
Okay, I got you.
So Montana is one of the states where a mini stamp is not allowed. Make sure you check your state requirements when it comes to ordering a mini stamp so that you are not out of compliance. Okay.
Yeah. Everything we say is always check with your state, guys.
Yes.
In Florida, check with Florida.
Yes. So, another common mistake that notaries do is they try to actually stamp a I-9 document. You don't need to stamp an I-9 document. You are there because of your credentials of a notary is able to verify the documents in which they are needing for verification for employment of the job that they're going to. Okay. There's no need for you to sign the document. You are an authorized person working on behalf of that company at that time to fill out the documents. You just make sure you pick from whatever list that particular document is coming from, and you just put your signature, and that's it. There's no need to have a stamp. It's not required. Put that stamp away. Matter of fact, leave it in the car. Don't even bring it in, because you might just do it out of habit and want to stamp it. But there's no area for it. And
notarial statement. So.
There's no statement. Yeah. So dang, I had one and it went away.
How would I know which one to use? What are you referring to for that question?
Oh,
Iris, that's Iris. What are you referring to, if you don't mind?
Is she talking about the notarial certificate that we just talked about? Yeah. Can you clarify your question? Oh, I just had another one. I can't remember.
So,
go
ahead. Just so you guys know, and this
depends on the space that you have.
Between the mini and the regular stamp.
It just depends on how much space you have.
How much space you have. If you have,
if I have a good enough space, I use regular. If I know that the space is limited, I use my mini.
Yeah,
but I always have both stamps on me.
And I went back to my regular size stamp because sometimes my mini stamp can be a little blurry, like jumbled. Yeah. So I was only exclusively using my mini stamp, but now I use the regular size stamp, and then I have that other one, my one for my purse that I use just to make sure that it's clear. So you do want to make sure your stamp is clear when you stamp it.
So it's important to know that you, as a notary, cannot notarize vital documents. Vital documents would be birth certificates. That would be a marriage license, ECT. You're not able to notarize those, okay? What you would need to do is a copy certification, which that allows you to authenticate the copy in which is being made from the original document. You can do that, but you can't stamp a marriage notification, a marriage license, or just attach a jurat or acknowledgement to it, because it is not the correct act that you're doing. So you would just need to clarify with the customer what exactly they're looking to do. I need to notarize this document, blah, blah, blah. If they said, say, a marriage license or a birth certificate, you can't do it. Again, it would have to be a copy certification.
Yep. And to add to that, we cannot copy certify vital records anyway. So if you need a certified copy of a vital record, you need to be requesting it from the issuing party.
Okay.
Yep.
And in our Florida handbook, it does give us a list of vital records that cannot be copy certified. So if you need that for reference, just look in there. It's all there.
What's up, Victoria? How are you? Good to see you. Hey, hey.
So another common mistake is failing to use your official name and your signature. So whatever name you are commissioned as is the name that you need to print under your signature, and it is the name that you need to sign with. Virgil knows this because she used her whole name, and now she has to sign with her whole name.
And I never used to
have two middle names. I was sure not to put my entire name on the commission because I did not and shan't not want to sign my full name on anything or write it, right? If whatever your name is on your commission certificate is the name that you need to be signing with and printing, which brings me to another common mistake is that you need to print your name underneath your signature. Even if there is no line there that says printed name or print name, you need to print your name underneath your signature each and every time. That is one of the 9 requirements for a proper notary certificate. So if you're not printing your name, your certificate is not technically valid. So you want to have that as well.
So to kind of piggyback,
just to add a disclaimer for anyone on my channel watching.
Yeah.
That is a Florida requirement.
Florida.
Kind of piggyback off of Virgil, what she said earlier, or no, I think it was you that was saying make sure you have ink pens.
Yeah.
And if you choose to use, not choose, if they don't tell you use blue ink, I have to tell you guys a story. So I had a signing a couple days ago. Long story short, just by default, they had a black pen on the table. The signing service didn't send me the documentation. They sent it to the client. Normally, I take a blue pen and I use a blue pen. This day, I just went with what they had. I don't know why I did it, but it wasn't until the end when I was getting ready to gather the documents and actually send it off for them that I see the folder that actually said blue ink. Now, that's no excuse. I know normally to use blue ink and I did not. So I spent about 2.5 hours emailing title to figure out if it was okay to keep the black ink that I use. So 2 hours out of my time yesterday, just thinking that I would have to go back out and re-notarize all of those documents for the client. And I probably made myself look bad because it looks like I can't follow simple directions. Mm-hmm. So in some instances, you don't get a chance to have a second impression. Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure you do it right. Now, mistakes are going to happen, right? But that's simple. That's something I should have went and done, but I didn't. And there's no excuse for it. So I have to take that L and understand that loan closers may not use me again. And that is perfectly within their wheelhouse to do so. But I know what? I'm going to take them black pens up one side of my bag and put a whole bunch of blue ones in there so I'll be ready next time.
Yeah, my black pens are.
Guys, always read the instructions. It doesn't take that long. Read the instructions. If they're asking you to do something that is not against the law, just do it. It's not that hard. It's not going to like literally kill you to just follow some simple instructions. Okay, they put them there for a reason. Read them and follow them. And if you have questions, don't be afraid to call and ask.
Yeah,
it doesn't make you look unprofessional. They are going to appreciate that you don't want to make any mistakes because they want to get their money just like you want to get your money.
Yes.
Going back to where you should stamp your seal, you also want to make sure that you do not stamp over any text. So you don't want to put your stamp over the word seal. You don't want to put your stamp over whatever else, over stamp here, the word stamp. You want your stamp in a clean area on the sheet of paper. If you can't do that, then you need to attach a loose certificate. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see.
Oh, I want to take the time. You talked about it, the blue. You did it. My bad. Go on. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, we talked about the blue pen.
Yeah, and the reason why the blue pen is necessary.
Yeah. There's another one. This one is not required actually in the state of Florida. Some states require it, some states don't. But a common mistake that notaries do, I'll just say, is they don't use a journal. They don't use a journal. It is best practice to use a journal. I did some of my first signings without using a journal, my loan signings. Now, not general notary work, loan signings. Mm-hmm. And the only reason why I didn't use a journal is because it was too many dang on papers to be filling out in that dang on journal. However, after some of that face right there from Bergeau, I started with an electronic journal. So the electronic journal allows your girl to not have to write all that stuff out, because if I had to do it by paper, as long as
been a done deal.
I don't need one, I probably would not have one, because my early signings, I was driving an hour and a half away from my house. I was trying to get that done and get on back home, especially before it got dark, because you don't want to be up north in Florida in the dark. So you want to get home because it ain't no lights up there. That's straight country, like it's straight up country up there. So I did not, but don't be like me. Or do be like me. Use an electronic journal. So I use Jurat ink, Notary journal. I started out with Notary Act. Is that the name of it? Notary Act
Yep.
Journal. I used that one for a long time. And then I just recently switched to Jurat Inc.'s journal because I like it a little bit better. But what I like about it is that I can load a package from title companies or from lenders that I do frequently. So Freedom Mortgage is one that I do a lot. And I can load their entire package into my electronic journal. And every time I have a signing with Freedom Mortgage, I just load that one package up and I'm good. So I can check it and make sure that all the documents are there. Usually I count the stamps and make sure I got them all in my journal. And if I do, I'm good to go. If I got to add one or two, it's just one or two, but I don't have to add a whole ding dang package and I don't have to write all that stuff in my journal. So I would say, if you don't like to write and do all that writing, the best thing to do would be to get an electronic journal and make sure that you are having them complete the journal, that they're signing the journal, and that you are entering their ID and all that information before you start stamping. Yeah, before you start stamping. So,
and for anyone watching who is not in Florida, make sure you look and see if an electronic journal is allowed for you.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought.
You did. Oh, here's another one because I Googled this one. Failing to require personal appearance. Now, this one was on the news where some lady signed a deed for a dead man.
Right. I remember this
To
story.
another man who literally stole his house from his family. And actually, I just saw this again the other day on the news where two people got in trouble for getting deeds, just walking into the county clerk and filing these deeds. And they were talking about how there's no check to make sure that somebody's just not quit claim deeding this property to just random people. They did this for $1 million worth of property for people that had already died. So you do want to make sure, and this all goes back to getting the document before you actually sign or before you even go there, before you even agree to do the notarization. You want to say,
don't be afraid to ask for a copy.
Can you send me a copy of the document? Because another thing you don't want to do is you don't want to get there and it's not a document that they can sign anyway. And this happens a lot, believe it or not. I know it happens on Ron a lot. People get on and they're like, oh, my boss told me to get this notarized. Well, your boss got to be the one on the camera because it requires their signature. So it does not hurt at all. Most people will oblige you and send you a picture of the document. And you can look the document over and make sure it's something that you can notarize. Make sure it's something that they can sign. Because if it's not them, then you need to require the person who needs to sign to personally appear before you. Another one is that document I sent to you guys. Someone sent it to me. It was a document that was from the country of Brazil. And it was in order to bring a child back to America. And they were asking someone in America to notarize this document. And there's a few things wrong with that document after looking at it. And I finally determined that if the document is originating in Brazil and it is to be used in Brazil, then somebody in Brazil needs to notarize that document. So it's very important that you do that. Let's see. So somebody says, I was at the hospital gift shop store and a lady who used to work there was looking for her coworker to notarize a POA for her mom with dementia. The doctors are requiring it. I felt bad and almost chimed in, but continued to mind my business. So they were looking for a notary?
That's what it looks like.
You should have chimed in. Like, you should have chimed in.
Well, her, yeah, I think she
I
said
would
it
have
was
chimed in.
the
And the fact
dementia
that
part.
the lady has dementia, I would have just asked more questions. So people with early onset of dementia can still be aware, and they still can be willing to sign. So you should have chimed in and just said, "Hey, I'm a notary. Maybe I can help you, but I need a few more questions about, your mom." I think you just wanted to make sure her mom is aware, that she has awareness, and that she is willing to sign. A lot of times with folks that are elderly or with dementia, it's a gray area, but you have to use your best judgment, and go with what you think is right. So, because I've been in situations where the person, they explained to them that they were going to sign and they were like, okay. And then 5 minutes later, it was like, what I'm signing again? So they explained it again. They're like, oh, okay. So it's a gray area. So you have to use your best judgment as it relates to signing for those who are considered vulnerable adults.
And, one thing you learn once you start doing this is that don't be afraid to use your best judgment when it comes to decisions that are in the gray area. If you feel like it's something that you need to be concerned about, then you can opt out. You have that choice to decide, hey, I'm not going to continue this transaction, rather than continuing it and then finding out you done quit claim deeded somebody $1 million house. Okay. Yep. It doesn't mean that you're incompetent. It doesn't mean you don't know your business. It just means, hey, I'm not comfortable with this situation, so I'm not going to sign. So unfortunately, I can't move forward. And what I recommend is for you to reach out to the party who's requesting this act and ask for more information. But until then, I have acted in the capacity in which I could. So bye, y'all. And that's it.
It's funny you said that, because as soon as you said that, I pulled up a story that just said, don't give in to pressure. And it's telling a story about a Cincinnati, Ohio notary got a call from a couple needing documents notarized. The appointment was in a parking lot, which is okay. The couple brought deeds for ownership of 4 homes to them, and they wanted the signature of the current homeowners notarized. So the homeowners ain't there. There was just one problem. The homeowners were not present. The notary later admitted to a local reporter that the couple convinced her to notarize the deeds despite having the absent signer. If the notary thought that was it, she was mistaken.
Money phone.
Bailey's Notary, how can I help you?
Just
Money phone.
It says, with the deeds in hand, the couple ended up filing them. Let me mute her. Here we go. The couple ended up filing them with the auditor's office, and because they were notarized, they got accepted at face value. Hold on, Butcher, I muted you. Okay, there you go. And so she done let these people talk her into a whole scam. So, like Reggie said, don't feel pressured to sign nothing. If it doesn't feel comfortable to you, walk away. And then she said that her mom was not understanding at all. I would not have notarized it.
Well, she said her mom wasn't not understanding at all.
Yeah,
so that means she
wasn't not understanding. Yeah, she didn't get it.
No, she wasn't not understanding at all. Because you were saying if she don't understand, she said she wasn't not understanding. So that means she did understand.
No, I don't think that's what she meant. I think she was saying she didn't understand.
Her mom wasn't not understanding.
Yeah, I think she put an extra not there, but I think she meant the mom wasn't understanding. Because
let us know, Victoria.
Her mom was not. Sorry, her mom was not.
There we go.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Thank you for that.
Her mom didn't understand. So yeah, there is another way that you can notarize, get those documents notarized, but it would have to be through the doctor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the doctor would have to declare her incompetent, and there's a whole nother process. At that point, I would just tell the daughter, like, you need to get an attorney involved. Mm-hmm. Because you want to protect, like, part of our job to the public is to ensure that we're protecting the public too. Yep. And so I I would not explain the process to her. I know that there is a process, but I'm not going to explain it to her. The doctor would have to get her declared incompetent and all this other stuff. And so I would just say, yeah, she would need to get an attorney. The doctor was the one that wanted it done. That's fine. She needed to contact an attorney and let the attorney
and that's
know.
another common mistake notaries make. Just trying to do the job just because it came to you. Just because the job came to you doesn't mean that you should be doing it. Okay, you need to make sure everything checks out. If it does not, you need to just either send them to someone else or just, tell them that you're not able to do it, that they can find someone else.
Because it's your business at the end of the day. It's your name that
Exactly.
you document. So the more questions you ask, if they seem to be getting bothered by it, you have to, explain to them that this is your process so you fully understand. And, a best practice, if you can, is to get them to send the document to you prior to. If that's not possible, then you may have to wait until you get there and then make that distinction and that decision. And then you would have to let them know about your travel fee if it ain't something you can do. But otherwise, you have to make sure that you cover yourself in all bases. And these are things that you will learn as you go. We done all probably had that almost fraudulent moment. And if you felt it in your heart of hearts that it wasn't something you need to do. And
Virgil had that.
And you went against it. Yeah, go ahead.
So I had a customer call me. She needed to get a document notarized, and she asked me, how does the witness work? Because for everyone who watches me, on my website, I am very detailed on everything. So any questions you have, I have the answers there. She asked me how the witness part go. I told her, I can provide witnesses for you at an additional fee. And she was like, oh, okay, well, no, that's okay then. She was like, I need to get a document notarized. I said, okay. I was like, right. She told me attorney document. I said, okay, fine. Yeah, I can notarize that. She comes over. She hands me her ID. She flips through the pages and puts only on top the page that says notary. So I start going through the documents and she started getting uncomfortable. Like, well, this is the only page you need to notarize right here. I said, I know, but I need to make sure that everything is filled in. So I'm looking through the documents, and I come across the part where it says witness. I said, so your document does need witnesses. Yeah, but I already have my brother and sister signed. So you just need to notarize this page. I said, well, no, your brother and sister would need to be before me when signing the document. Everybody who signs the document, I need to ID and put into my journal. She was like, no, you just need to notarize my signature. And so I'm explaining to her that's not how that works. And she was like, well, that's fine. I didn't bring all the pages with me anyway. That's fine. All you need to do is just notarize my signature. And that was it. But that's fine. I'll find somebody else to do it. I said, okay. You have a good day.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I'm just like, okay. And honestly, I would not have known that she did not have all the pages because there were no page numbers on there. But the fact of the matter was, so the fact of the matter was, you flipping through the pages just to put on top the page I need to sign, thinking that I would not have went through the other pages. And it's sad because she's probably worked with a notary before who probably only did that. So
she probably
it's very important
that ended up notarizing it. And
so it's very important, guys. You got to review everything. Look at all the pages, okay? Your only concern is not just the page that you have to notarize. You want to make sure, because guess what is going to happen? If you get documents, they're not completed, right? And you notarize it. They can put on that document whatever they want after the fact. It gets contested in court. It's your word against theirs that you knew the document was incomplete, but you notarized it anyway.
Mm-hmm. It's not worth it for a $10 stamp and
it's
maybe
not
$15.
And that's what I was thinking to myself. Like, I know she don't think I'm pressed over $10. It was only a $10 notarization anyway. And furthermore, no amount of money is going to make me want to jeopardize my commission. No amount of money.
Yeah. There's too many fines out there for us and you can ultimately get your your commission revoked. It's not worth it. So make sure
Permanently.
you safeguard that.
And your insurance hit, which means your bond is hit.
Everything. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it.
Everything
Not
is
worth
not
it at all.
I was gonna say about Ron. Did you guys want to kind of transition into some of the comments, mistakes you guys find on Ron's as being witnesses?
So somebody said it sucks when it comes to Ron with blanks where they have to upload again, but I asked them to do it, or once complete, I can upload it. Well, what I do for Ron, because this does happen quite frequently for Ron, the benefit of being online is that on most platforms, there are a couple that where you can't do this, but on most platforms, you can put a text box there, assign it to them, and then have them complete it right online. So that there's no need to turn them away and get them off the session. You can just add a text box and have them fill it in. On a couple of platforms, that's not an option, and I'm the only one who could control the text box. And what I do is I say, because we are being recorded, so I ensure that I cover my behind on the recording, and I say that and you're talking about eNotary on call, and that's what I'm talking about. So on eNotary, who was that commenting? They probably one that took all my
Victoria.
Victoria, you take all my signings on eNotary on call. Yeah. Get off eNotary on call. Y'all that took all my assignments. So on eNotary on call, what I do is I state for the camera, there are some blank spaces on this document that we will need to complete. I'm going to read that section, and please tell me what to type in this area. So, for example, if there's a section that has their name, I don't just fill in their name. Now, of course, I know their name. It's right there on the screen, but I don't type their name. I say your name, and I have them say their name. And then if it asks for phone number, and I'll say phone number, they will say phone number. I'll type it in exactly the way that they tell me. And then once I do that, I ask them to review it, and then we proceed from there. So
because it's recorded, that's perfectly fine. Get the information filled in while it's on there. It doesn't matter if they've uploaded a blank document, because in most cases they've been emailed a document and they're uploading it to the platform. So you can fill out the document. Like Ayana said, just go ahead and ask them what goes in the blanks. You're being recorded. It's perfectly fine.
Yep, you're being recorded. And so you can ask them what to place in those blanks. So they're going to let you know what to type. You don't need to know what to type. They're going to tell you what to type.
Right.
They're going to tell you what to type. Another common mistake when you are doing Ron is not putting the disclosure that notarization is being performed via audio video communication. So that disclosure or disclaimer has to be at the bottom, or it has to be on the document. It doesn't have to be on the bottom. It doesn't have to be under the seal. It just has to be there. I typically place mine underneath the seal. I know eNotary on call has it because I was the one who got it put on there. So Blue Notary, I think Blue Notary has theirs automatically attached to their seal. eNotary log, you have to place it on there. So what she say? She said
question I passed it
where they're not sure or they want to do it later. If they want to do it later or they don't know what needs to go there, then yes, obviously they have to come back on it another time.
Right.
All right, let's see. Question. I passed the exam for Ron. What is the next step? You need to complete an application, the state application. If you're in Florida, you need to complete the state application, have that application notarized, and then you need to send that application in with a copy of your bond to the state of Florida with, I think, $10. I think it's $10.
Does it require you to get it notarized? I think it does.
I think it does.
Yes.
Yeah, the Ron one you have to have notarized.
Okay.
Says, I'm sorry, herbal service. Okay. Yes, I'm in Florida. Okay, yes. So yeah, you have to fill out the application.
Another common mistake for Ron.
Oh, go ahead. Go.
Oh no, another common mistake for Ron is, guys, when you notarize online, it is exactly how you do face to face. Okay. If you have someone upload a document, there's no notarial statement, you have to attach one. You should not just be signing and sealing a letter. You have no notarial wording. Remember, the whole notarization process includes the notarial statement, your signature and seal. If you don't have if you don't have that notarial statement, you should not be notarizing. That goes for in person and.
If you are notarizing a will, a power of attorney that authorizes financial transactions to take place, any kind of estate planning documents where people will have control over financial interests, you need to ask those questions before you get online to determine whether or not that person that is signing is a vulnerable adult. If they are a vulnerable adult, there are additional steps, which I'm not going to go into here, that you must take in order to notarize them online and to have that notarization be valid. Personally, when I do a will, a power of attorney, or anything like that, if the person is a vulnerable adult, I'm not signing online. I will refer them to a notary that can come to that home in person. And the reason why I do that is because you need to ensure, again, as a notary, that they are not being coerced or they are not being forced to sign that document. And online, you are not sure that that is happening. You do need to ask them to pan the room and all of that stuff. But you can pan the room and they be standing on the other side of the door. You don't know. So if you are there in person, you're there and you can assess their willingness, their awareness, and you can assess the entire room. If there's somebody in the room that seems to be a little forceful, you can ask them to leave the room. They don't want to leave the room and leave you there with the signer, then you can just not sign. So me personally, if they are considered a vulnerable adult, for me, I do not want to notarize via Ron. Majority of my work now consists of Ron, but I will stand on that. I will stand firm on that because I don't want to get into any trouble down the line. And wills, every single will is contested, except for a self-proving will, but that's neither here nor there. But most wills will go to court and be contested. So, or not contested, but they will go to court before a judge. And so if they go before a judge, all it will take is one of their family members to come in there and be like, she wasn't even in her right mind to sign that day. So Aunt so-and-so made them sign that document. And then boom, there you go. Call the notary up. Yeah, call the notary up. Okay, how'd you do it online? How did you know so-and-so wasn't forcing them to sign? Did you ask questions? So it's a whole can of worms you don't be bothered with. So that's my thing. What does this comment say? I'm a notary in Jersey and Florida, and I like that I can switch out commissions online depending where I'm physically.
Nice.
So I'm taking it in New Jersey. You don't have to live in New Jersey in order to be a notary. Because in Florida, you have to live in Florida to be a Florida notary. If you move out of Florida, you have to turn in your notary.
Well, you have people who have dual residency. So if they live in both places, they can.
You have to have a residency in Florida is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. If they live in both places,
so that's what I said.
They
New
can.
Jersey is probably a place that allows you not to live there.
No, they said that they're in, work in business. So
yeah.
Like here, I have neighbors who live here half the year. They live in their other home half the year, and they have dual residency. So you can live in both places. You just got to prove it, and they'll commission you.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't do that, but okay. Yeah, because usually one of them is your main address or not. But yeah, you can live in two places. So what else?
So, do we want to put this out for like questions or?
Yeah, you guys got questions on any of the common mistakes that we've mentioned? Do you want to add to it? Any that you have come across? Let us know.
I have a question. Virgil and Ayana, how long have you guys been notaries?
No, we're not talking about that. How many times have we said this?
On this live?
We said it on the first one.
Did
Did
we?
we?
Yes.
I don't think
And
we
how
did.
many people watch your videos, Virgil? And how many people watch my videos?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I've been a notary for 1 year. It was actually a year, January 3rd.
You have said
My
this
year anniversary.
before, sir. I promise you.
Not on here. Well, I said it again, so now y'all know again.
But you on your YouTube, you on everybody's YouTube right now. We did on the very first one. We talked about our background. The one we did before the end of the year.
Touche. You're right. I remember that now.
He just want to say he just ready to celebrate his anniversary. That's what that is. He just eager to say.
Yeah, well, I celebrated my anniversary on the 3rd of this month.
Just say that then.
And then, yeah. So, run across a run.
All right, let's see what this one says. I've come across a run where one person set it up and signed the document, but wanted the one who was supposed to sign to appear and get it acknowledged. I've had that happen to me before. As long as the ID that comes through the platform is the ID of the person that's signing and their name appears, because it depends on the platform. But as long as you can verify the ID of the person that's signing and that person is before you on the camera, I don't think it matters who sets up the session. Because some people are just not technically savvy, so they don't know how to set it up.
Ron is definitely something I want to jump more into. I've had one this month and I had a couple last month, but I definitely want to do that to be able to expand my footprint of what I can do. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely, I don't know. I sometimes scratch my head trying to figure out how to even get in that bag of gaining customers to come. Yeah, I guess you just have to.
Bag. You see these people taking my Rons away. Just stay in your bag. I ain't taking your bag. Virgil, stay in her bag. Let me get my bag.
We pretty far.
Victoria is already taking my bag because it's probably her taking. Let me call Alba. Let me find out. It's you, Victoria. Shoot. I can't catch none of them e-notary on calls.
Yeah, you got to be quick, drop McGraw. I can't do it either.
Well, a lot of their volume has gone down too, so it's not as busy as it was last year. So they probably need to run their Google ad again or something like that because it's not that busy. And
you know what is another common mistake notaries make? It's two. Not letting people know you're a notary. Why y'all not letting people know you're a notary? Like, nobody knows that you have this gift. My next door neighbor uses me as his notary. We got a notary location across the street from us, but I live next door. So it's like,
right,
very convenient for him to just be like, hey, you home? Or I'm about to come over and get document notarized. I say, okay, no problem. And so the second one I wanted to mention is trying to rely on others to give you business. If you want to get business, you need to advertise and you need to market. However that looks for you, basically you're letting people know that you're a notary. You need to let a lot of people know that you're a notary so that when they need a notary, you will be top of mind. Stop getting on here getting mad. I became a Ron and I heard notarize and give me business and I'm not even getting it. Okay, then what's your next course of action? Market, advertise.
Right.
Okay. Because some of those platforms, they get the volume, then they don't. They get it, then they don't. Then you're sitting there looking like, oh, I don't know what to do.
It's not enough to live on anyway. I mean, Notarize only pay you $5.
Yeah.
So e-notary on call only pays
you make more money bringing in your own customers to a platform that allows you to do that.
Yep.
And that's what they're really designed to do. They're designed really for you to bring your customers on.
Right.
And that allows them to, expand their platform in terms of getting more people using it.
Yeah.
But
because if they bring you the customer, they're making the money.
Correct.
They're gonna pay you. They're gonna pay you pennies because they're doing all the
money if you your own customers.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of platforms where you can bring your own customers. Don't just rely on a couple or the cheapest. Sometimes the free and cheap ones are not the ones that you want to have an impression on with your customers. Because if your customer comes to you and your services ain't working, they probably not going to want to come back. They're like, okay, you don't even got your stuff together. So research it's a bunch of platforms and use one that is not only good for you, but good for your customers too. You want it to be as easy as possible for them.
Right.
Sorry, hold on, y'all. Money phone. I got a real estate customer. So I ain't used my real estate license in some years, and all of a sudden I'm using it twice this year. So yeah, anywho. All right. So yes, and if one of the glitches, you have to have a backup plan. I have to report my sales and text are misaligned. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep, you do have to have a backup plan. There's plenty of times where one notary, they answer the KBA wrong and you get locked out. So personally, because I'm in the state of Florida, I do not what was I gonna say? I do not use KBA. I bypass KBA. Because in the state of Florida, we can use biometrics in order to ID or credential signers online. And I take full advantage of that because especially when I am doing loan packages for one of my directs, because they usually have older clients and clients can't remember 40 years ago what color their car was, what color was the 1932 Buick that you bought. Nobody can remember that. People don't remember their zip codes. Like personally, I only remember one zip code, and that's a zip code I was born in. So all the other zip codes, I don't even remember the zip code we had in South Florida.
I have a common mistake that notaries do. A common mistake that notaries do, and this is going to lead into something else, is not know how to price their services. Okay? Ayana has created a really great notary calculator that you can get off of ayanalugo.com that will do all the legwork that you need. If you are doing weddings, which we found out, the least you can, per hour is $39 being the lowest in the state of Florida.
39
and 46 being the highest.
That's the average, yeah.
That's the average. So I say all that to say, it's not about knowing your worth. It's about knowing how to charge the customer. You should be charging for your expertise, which is the time that you put into. But better yet, just go to ayanalugo.com and download the calculator. She has it for $25 right now. 20 bucks. And it's probably one of the best things I have ever used. I use it for every single client that I have. Now, there's times where I feel like, it might be a little too much. Take a little bit off, because at the end of the day, it's your business. But you don't want to leave any money on the table because you don't know how to price out your customers. So make sure you go and download that calculator or go look at it. We got videos all over it on all of our social medias. Check it out. And it's the best thing since
it's 4 calculators in one. It's not just one. It's 4 calculators in one.
The mobile, online, wedding, and apostille. So it's 4 calculators in one. She said, here they come. 4 calculators in one. You can choose the tab and you can fill in the address. It gives you the mileage. We were just I whipped it out early this morning because Bergeau was up at 6:30 to crack of dawn trying to figure out how to price something on her website. And I'm like, are we overthinking this at 7 in the morning? I'm like, why are we this is how I was texting, like, why are we 7 in the morning talking about
I don't get up till like 8:39.
No, you didn't get up, but I saw it. And I'm like, Bergeau, it's too early. And she like, but should it be? I'm like, we are overthinking this. It should be based on the time. 4 hours of time, multiply that by whatever your hour is, add the travel, boom, we're done.
Yep.
Add the stamp.
I got it, and I was able to put together some really nice wedding packages because my whole thing was just doing some updates. It's a new year. It's time to get rid of whatever didn't work and move on to what will work. So that's why I was a turn. I got to act on it.
Right. So go get that calculator, and I want to hear you guys talk about how great it is or your experience that you use with it. I want to see it. It is definitely worth it.
It definitely works. Do we have a group to join?
Oh, and then I got a
group text between us. So Bergeau, Reggie, and I do have a group text that we are on. But Bergeau does have a group. Reggie also has a group. My group will be closing. You guys can talk about your group because, again, my group will be closing. I am choosing to place my focus outside of Facebook group. So
you want to
talk about your
you want to go ahead, Bergeau, talk about because you have your group and your
membership.
mentorship.
Yeah. Talk about both.
Oh,
please.
yeah. Well,
look at her. She's zoned out.
Yeah. I have a support group that's free and it's on Facebook. It's
she said
Notary
she meant,
Support.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. She said she meant on text or WhatsApp. So, yes, keep going.
I have a Notary membership group and we have WhatsApp. It's about 24 of us on there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In the membership. It is not free, though, unfortunately. It is a paid subscription. So you pay $10 a month, or you can purchase my general notary course and gain free, unlimited, well, it's not free. You will gain unlimited access to it, and you don't have to pay monthly. You pay one time, take the general notary course, and you automatically have access to my private academy group and my private WhatsApp chat group. And we also host events. We host weekly Q&A. We do ongoing training and anything else you could think of. I'm a support guru when it comes to notaries, just trying to help you guys navigate through not only the notary side of it, but the business side of it.
And I'll tell you, you will get way more than $10 worth.
It's jam-packed with
support from Bergeau's group. How can they find your membership group or your group in general?
You can go to my academy website at www.thenotaryeducationgrp.com. You're going to go to the menu. Click on membership.
Say again,
www.thenotaryeducationgrp.com.
Boom, there we go.
There we go.
Yep.
And that's for everybody that's watching.
Stephanie is in the group, and she said the refresher training this month was so awesome. And I'm telling you, you will get way more than $10 worth of.
Yes. It is jam-packed with a lot of stuff that you didn't know you needed.
And she has a WhatsApp group, WhatsApp chat group as well. That is very well used.
Yeah, we have the WhatsApp chat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not everyone now is on Facebook, so the WhatsApp chat is easier for people to be able to communicate, stay in touch, and ask important questions. Remember, no question is a dumb question in my group.
In my group, there are some dumb questions. Just don't ask them. I'm just kidding. I'm JK, everybody. I'm very silly. I am, and just to let you guys know, we are in different sections of Florida. I'm in Central Florida. Ayana is in Western, the Gulf.
I'm in Central Florida.
Yeah, over in the Tampa area.
But on the Tampa side.
And then you got homegirl down at the bottom at Coconut Creek. So
I'm in South Florida.
Yes,
South Florida. You can find me at Central Florida Notary on Facebook. If you're watching now, you're probably watching from Central Florida Notary or one of the other support groups, so you got to see all those messages there. You can also hit me up on Instagram at eternal.unions as well. And then last but not least, you can find me on the YouTube, which I need help. So each and every one of y'all, if y'all could, I only got 27 people that be watching my videos. Okay, please go and subscribe to my channel. All right, and it's Central FL Notary, exactly the way it's spelled right there. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's on your thing. All right, y'all, we are at the hour. Please like this video if you are watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, like this video, thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back again next Thursday at 7:30. Same bat place, same bat time, same bat people.
And if you guys have any topics that you specifically want us to talk about, please let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know.
Please.
So, yeah, that is it. We will catch you guys next week. And until then, peace out. Say bye, Reggie.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.